Hello and welcome to Landia. Today, I would like to talk about the fallacy that is trusting more other people's perspective and looking for other people approval above of your own. Imagine, I think sometimes we can do this mistake that is like the truth about the world or the truth about myself is what the majority believes. What I mean by this is I am a person X. Let's say I'm a good person, I'm a successful person, I am a worthy person. If a big majority of people believe it, if the majority of people that have met me or see me believe that I'm this person, or the world is a certain way, like the world is or good or a bad place or whatever it is, because the majority of people believe that the world is this way, and how false that is, because in reality, the truth that we make about ourselves and the truth of the world is created by ourselves. And we are the ones, especially talking about defining ourselves. We are the only ones that can define ourselves. How other people perceive us is how they perceive themselves. So in reality, people are not really perceiving us, they are perceiving themselves. People cannot perceive us because the only information that they have, the only input that they have is about their lives. They don't know us really. They have not lived our lives. They're not like in our minds. They don't have the same belief systems. What other people think of us really has nothing to do with us and everything to do with them. Just because a majority of people think that you are a certain way, or just because a majority of people think that the world is a certain way, does not define reality, does not define truth. When I think about this, I think, for example, like in the past, I think it was like before Christ, where everyone thought like that the world was flat and everyone had that belief system. And imagine like Aristotle's coming for the first time, being like, hey, people, maybe the world is round. Imagine the first person that I'm assuming is Aristotle, according to history. Imagine the first person that told the people, hey, the world is round. And imagine people probably look at him like, this guy is crazy. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. What is he saying? Even though that was reality, even though that was the truth, because he was not accepted by the majority of people, probably people think he was crazy by saying that. Probably people thought he is not describing the truth, even though there he was. I also think about like Copernicus, like the first time that he was like, hey, maybe the earth revolves around the sun and not maybe like the other way around. People probably look at him, and I think there is even historical record of this. People probably look at him and they were like, hey, this guy is crazy. What is he saying? This is impossible. And I'm giving these two examples for a specific reason. We usually fall into this pattern of seeing the world and seeing people as two-dimensional, as like flats, like a line, beginning, middle, end. We usually can perceive the world as flat, as two-dimensional. We lack the perception of complexity. We lack the perception of many things being truth at once. And that just because one thing is true, it does not deny another thing to be true, because nothing in life is two-dimensional. Nothing is like in life is a straight line. Everything is complex. And actually, everything in life is a cycle. Everything in life is a circle. Also, you we usually tend to go into this pattern that is people centered, in the sense that we put ourselves in the center of the point of view. We see things for only our perspective, and we perceive the world only for our perspective and for first perspective only. Like we are the center of the universe. We are the ones that are defining the truth of the world and the universe, because we are the ones that are perceiving it. And we deny other truths and we deny other perspectives because we have this tendency to put us as the first point of view, in the sense that the world is this way because I perceive it this way. That actually does not mean that the world is that way. This just means that I am perceiving it that way. Just because I have this certain type of eyes or I have this certain type of body that is perceiving the world this way does not define the truth of the world. It defines the way that I'm perceiving the world. And actually, the way that you perceive the world can create almost this false truth, and it can feel truthful, it can feel real. That's why there is so much power in perspective, and that's why there is so much power in thought, because we can really create this false truth and we can really believe in this false truth and create almost a truthful state coming from these false truths. When I'm speaking about this, is like, imagine, for example, dogs, they can hear more than us. Just because dogs are hearing more than us, does it mean that what they're hearing is false? Just because I cannot perceive the world to their capacity, does it mean that what they're hearing is false just because I cannot perceive it? Or even with eyesight, like our eyes can only perceive like certain colors. Even like people that are colorblind and can only perceive a certain range of colors, right? Just because I'm perceiving the world this way, does it mean it is a truth about the world, or is it my perception about the world, right? And I really think here we can enter this fallacy that the truth about myself or the truth about the world is what majority accepts, is what majority believes. And that actually tells you nothing, especially when we are talking about defining yourself and saying, like, I am this type of person. I believe that I have these qualities. I believe I am this way, right? Who you are and how you define yourself is only definable by yourself. No one can tell you who they are. What people are telling about you is just defining themselves, not defining nothing about you. So when you are looking for validation, it is kind of a fallacy to look for validation on the outside world. But I think it's very normal to do because, again, we have this belief that the truth is what the majority believes, right? The truth about the world, the truth about myself is what majority of people believe. So I am this person because majority of people believe I am this person. When in reality, only you can define yourself. Only you can give that validation. Only you can define the person that you are, because you are the one that is living your life. You are the one that is having a certain type of thought, a certain type of belief system that is leading you to take a certain type of action. No one can define you because they are not you. You define yourself because what you do with your life and how you conduct your life and how you create yourself, you are always in creation. You are always defining yourself. Actually, your definition is endless because you're always growing, you're always changing. What you were yesterday is not what you are tomorrow. And that's usually the healthiest state to be, like in constant change, is accepting the growth, is accepting the change and webs and flow of life. So you are always creating your life. Your creation is endless, and you are always expanding your definition of yourself. So no one can give you that validation besides of yourself. I'm talking about this in examples. For example, you only feel worthy when other people see your worth. You only feel like, yes, I'm this wow person, I'm this successful person, I'm this achieved person because I got the rewards. Because other people are praising me, because other people are applauding me. That's when I am worthy. When in reality, you were always worthy. You were born worthy. Nobody at to give you that, for you to become that, because you already were. Or examples like, I am a good person because other people see me as as a good person, when in reality, like, people can actually see you as a bad person and you are the good person. Honestly, the concept of good person means who is following the status quo, and a lot of times following the status quo is not being a moral, just, empathic and compassionate person. Quite the opposite a lot of times. So a lot of times, for example, this concept of good person again is this idea that is accepted by society, this concept that the majority of people accepts, but that doesn't mean it's not the truth. Or for example, you feel like you are beautiful just because other people are perceiving you as beautiful. Guess what? You were born beautiful. You define your own beauty. Nobody defines your own beauty. It's you that says to yourself, hey, I am beautiful because I was born beautiful. I don't need to look for other people's validation to be beautiful. And in a lot of ways, I think we seek a lot of external validation, which is normal. I think that's what we were taught. We are almost taught this collective mindset that the truth about the world is what the majority of people believe, when in reality, thoughts, concepts, ideas have changed across history and the world, and what was true once is not true now, and things are never really fully truthful because, again, we are seeing the truth of things by a first point of view perspective, by putting us like in the center basically of the universe, by putting us in the center of that perspective, and that in of itself is a fallacy, right? Because we are not the center of the universe, and we cannot fully perceive the truth because we don't have the mental capacity to do it. We can just perceive ourselves and perceive the world through ourselves, right? So, in a lot of times, I think we seek a lot of external validation, which again is normal because we have been taught that the truth is what majority of people accept, right? But that really means nothing. Seeking other people's validation means nothing. These can be examples of, like, for example, you want to start something. Let's say you want to start a new idea, a new project, you want to move countries, and you go to other people to ask, hey, is this a good idea? No matter what people say to you, it defines nothing about if it's a good idea or not. It is a good idea if you define it as a good idea. It is a good idea if you say, yeah, I kind of need to do this. I kind of want to do this. So it's a good idea for me because I want to do it, right? Or when asking people, like, when looking for this sense of achievement or success or status, like, I'll be finally be successful when people perceive me this way. I'll finally reach this sense of status and worth and value when people perceive me this way. Maybe when I reach this type of job, this type of income, maybe when I win a prize or I win whatever, right? That's when I'll feel successful or worthy. And that's when I'm going to give myself the value. When in reality, you are always valuable. Just because other people did not see your value, they do not define your value. It's like going back to the example of Aristotle's and Copernicus. Like, they were telling the truth, and they probably like very smart people that were like expanding our vision of the world. And probably when they first said that, people were like, no, you're crazy. And just because other people had the perception of them, it did not define them. They define themselves, right? And in a lot of ways, I think we should be our first source of validation and approval. I'm not saying that seeking validation and approval from others is a bad thing. I'm saying that first, we should be our first source of validation. We should be our first source of approval. Why? Because we are the only ones that can define the truth for ourselves. We are the ones that are creating our lives. We are the ones that are shaping our character. We are the ones that are shaping our personality. We are the ones that are co creating our life every day by our thoughts, our belief systems, and therefore our actions. We are the only ones that have agency over who we are. Nobody has agency of control over ourselves. Nobody can define us because we have zero control over us. We are the only ones that have free will over us. We are the only ones that have agency. We are the ones making the choices. Nobody is, right? So I think in a lot of ways, this is a message of being our first source of validation and also learning to trust ourselves. We know what is best for us. We know what's the best advice or best action to take for us. We know what is the best belief system to take and the best action to take because we are the only ones that are living our life. We are the only ones that are taking action in our life. We are the only ones that are creating our life. So we are first advisor, we are first counselor, we are first best friend, we are first lover, we are our first source of validation, comfort, and support. And hey, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to ask for other people guidance, advice. But in a lot of ways, I think it's important to take these other people's guidance, advice, and perspectives of the world as that, as a perspective of the world. I think other people can be a great source of inspiration. Of course, not everyone. Depends on the type of people that you are asking. A great advice that I always say is when looking for advice from other people or a perspective from other person or an approval from other person, look at them and think, do I want to live their life? Is the life that they are living a life that I want to live? Because if it's not a life that you want to live, if the life that they are living is not one that you want to live, if you would not like to trade worlds with them and live their life, there is really almost no point in asking for advice because the advice that you're going to give is from like their perspective of life and their view of life that is creating the life that they have now. And if their perspective is creating the life that you have now and you don't like it, probably that advice is not for you, right? However, if you see another person that is actually living the life that you like, right, and living the life what you like, is way beyond material. Of course, it can be material. It can be like, okay, they have a lifestyle, they have a certain house, a certain routine, a certain lifestyle that you want. Yeah, sure. And also, I think a lot of ways is living a life that you want also in terms of how they treat themselves. Like, I really like to take advice from people that treat themselves like in a way that I want to treat myself, like people that put good boundaries, that put like time into their passions, that have a good sense of self and have this healthy balance within them where they don't overextend themselves when they prioritize their needs. And I really like to take advice from those people because for me it's really beyond the material, and I think for me in a lot of ways the material is a reflection of how you treat yourself. I think in a lot of ways you have a good house, whatever that means to you. You have a good sense of materiality when you know how to give to yourself and when you know how to pour into yourself. So for me, materiality is an extension of how you view yourself as well and how you conduct yourself. But even the perspective of those people, it does not define you. It does not define you who you are because again, you are the only one that can define yourself. You are the only one that has agency of your life. You are the only one that has perspective of your life. You are the only one that is taking action in your life. So really, what the world thinks of you means one, nothing, and it has nothing to do with you. What the world sees and what the world sees about you has nothing to do with you, and it has no effect. It is not the truth. Just because like a bunch of people believe it is the truth, it does not mean that it is the truth. The truth is not a widely accepted belief. The truth is a constant across all ages and time. And even that, and even the truth, I think is never like ever solid because I think like the main principle of nature is change, so nothing is really forever, right? I think the only truth here is like things are always changing, always growing and evolving. But you are the only one that can define yourself because you are the only one that is living your life. You are the only one that is creating your life. You are the only one that has agency over your life. So I think this is step by step in trusting yourself more. I think again, yeah, at the beginning of life, we have a tendency to look for the outside for approval, like to look for the outside, like as a sign, is this a good thing to do? Should I do this? Am I this person because you believe I am this person? And I think doing this can really distract ourselves from our sense of trust. I think the more you are your first point of approval, the more you trust your perspective of life, the more you gain trust with yourself. And the more trust you have with yourself, the more likely you are to take risks, the more likely also you are to feel safer within you and the world, and the more likely you are to create a life that is more fulfilling and authentic to you because you are trusting yourself and you are trusting your own guidance. So this is a really a step by step by, for example, there is something that you want reassurance on, there is something that you want validation on, maybe it's the next step that you want to take, maybe you want to start this idea, and you have this instant, I'm going to ask a person, do you think this is a good idea? Like you share with this person, hey, do you think this is a good idea? First, do that a little bit. Imagine you have an idea to start something. Instead of asking for, like right away, for another person's opinion, do a little bit of that thing. Start doing it. You don't need to do a lot of that thing. You don't need to like fully start working on it like 24 hours a day. Start taking action on that thing before asking for other people's approval. Start doing the thing that you want to ask. Hey, is it a good idea? Start doing it a little bit. And then later you can ask for other people's opinion if you really need to. But while knowing that you are the one that is creating that thing, you define if it's a great idea to you, if it's fulfilling and it feels good and you like doing it, it is a good idea. You don't need for other people to view it as, like, for example, extremely successful or extremely wow 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 for it to be a good idea. Just the mere fact it gives you joy, it gives you purpose, it gives you fulfillment, it is already a good idea. A good idea does not need to be $1 million idea. A good idea is something that is fulfilling to you. Or for example, you want to take like a certain action in your life, like you want to be closer to a person, or you want to like maybe go on a travel, move countries, move cities, whatever it is, like little actions in life, right? That you ask for other people, hey, do you think this is a good idea? First, do a little bit of it. First, start planning the travel. First, maybe, for example, if you want to travel to different city, but you are scared, right? First, like, start planning that travel before you ask other people's opinion. And this is like a way to trust yourself first. And the more you trust yourself, the more you realize you are right, the more you follow your own sense of guidance and your own sense of approval and your own perspective of the world, the more you realize, hey, actually this works out. Actually, this was always a good idea. Actually, I'm able to do this. Because the more trust you have with yourself, the more safe you feel, the more fulfilled you feel, the more authentic you feel. It overall creates like a good relationship with self, and you can stand alone as a support system for yourself. Again, asking for other people for support is a beautiful thing, right? But I think being your first main source of approval and support can really create a lot of safety within you, and also can create a lot of healthy confidence in the sense that You can take actions knowing that you're gonna make it. You can take actions in the world knowing, yeah, things are going to go all right because you already took a lot of actions that led you to understand, yeah, actually, like things will go all right. That they might not go according to our expectations, because again, the truth about the world is not what we perceive it. Things might not go according to what we visualize, but usually they have a good outcome, and usually they have a better outcome than we expected. So, slowly taking actions that we want to take without asking for other people's approval really creates a lot of safety within you. And this can feel a bit, at the beginning, a bit uncomfortable, because we are so trained to be like, yes, the truth is what majority of people accept. That's the truth, and that's what I should do. I should follow the status quo, right? I should follow what everyone is following. That is the way, right? When in reality, a lot of times it is not for you, because we are all unique human beings. A person's way is not our way. Like, our way is very unique and independent from other people in a lot of ways. Like, what is good for us, it is uniquely good for us, because we are all unique people that need unique things, right? So slowly taking actions without asking other people's approval might feel a bit uncomfortable at the beginning, because again, we are so used to asking for other people's approval and asking for other people's like guidance for us to know, okay, this is the truth about the world, like this is a good step to take, I should do this because the majority of people believe I should do this. uh, so slowly taking those actions will allow you to gain more trust within you, and will allow you to also create a lot of safety within you, because you're going to create a relationship with yourself of like, I know what is good for me. I trust myself to know what to do in any situation. Even if I don't know now, when I'm put in that situation, I will know. I will trust myself to know what is best for me. Even if I don't understand, I will know what is the next step to take. And this can create a lot of safety within you and a big sense of trust, where you can move through the world with more ease, more calm, not as overwhelmingly thinking like the worst case scenario. This can really also help with your sense of fear, and this can really create almost this ground in your feet in any situation. This almost creates this sense of home. This is almost creating a sense of home, because I believe that our body is our own, right? We are our own. We are our source of security. We are our source of stability. We are our source of comfort, right? So, in a lot of ways, this can create that feeling of home, of feeling stable, secure, calm in any situation, through any circumstance of life. Because again, life can throw us in many directions, right? Life can be unexpected. But if we know to trust ourselves, and if we trust ourselves, we always know what is the best step to take. We always know what is the next step. Let me know down in the comments if you resonate with this message. If you like this video, give it a like. And if you like this content, subscribe. Bye.